Let's go to work.
Okay.
If you look up in the dictionary the word good, loyal, faithful worker, you'll see a picture of John Jones.
Well, I've got vacuuming to do, and I just got to clean bathrooms and things like that.
He never complains. You never see him come in a bad mood.
I think he embodies the very best of who Drury is.
Is the camera on? Are we rolling?
Yeah, talk. Sydney, ask him a question.
Yeah.
So are you going to edit it in case whenever I get nervous and stutter? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Where am I looking?
At me.
Okay.
Long walk, yeah, walk back. Super far.
What makes John John? John is
The kind of guy who'll do anything for you.
the same way every day.
John Jones, he's a sweeper. John Jones, he's a keeper. John Jones, he's no sleeper. First on the job and the last to leave. With Jesus in his pocket and his smile, that blessed smile. Hard to see sometimes, 'cause he's always out there going the extra mile.
I know John. I've known him for 40 years.
Someone that goes above and beyond the call of duty and will do whatever he can to make sure you have anything that you need to do your job better.
He is kind, and he is compassionate, and he is gentle, and he is selfless, and he is courageous.
His beliefs. It's his faith and his love for people, because he always shares stories of it, his interaction with the students and how he's maintained contact over the years.
I've never met a more carefree, easygoing individual in my life.
You know, he's such a gift to everybody that he meets, and he's touched so many lives in all these years.
I remember when my daughters were born, he gave us presents for the daughters for Christmas, and every year we'd get a present. They would come in, and there'd be these gifts for the girls, not necessarily for me, but always for my daughters.
A friend, a mentor to a lot of the kids and people that's come through here.
Most guys will buy Christmas cards and pass them out. He makes them by hand himself.
You know, he gives Christmas cards to everyone every year.
I still have a lot of them, these Christmas cards from the musical janitor, John.
And hand delivers them, which is a nice personal touch. Most guys won't go to that trouble and effort.
He was one of those people that you just liked to be around.
He's always there when you need him, and he never expects anything in return.
Drury Grounds has a Facebook page, and we usually post 1, 2, maybe 3 things every week. And they get 300, 400 people that interact with them. We post one thing about John Jones and we get about 3,000. So that just tells you he's a pretty well-liked person on campus. So I'm gonna regret that we can't post about him anymore.
Well, John would keep crackers, saltine crackers, in that. And I thought it was the coolest thing. I used to sit back and watch him, but he would take those saltine crackers and he would go outside, right outside the door, and sit there, and squirrels would come up to him, and he would sit and feed those squirrels. And they would come right up to him and eat out of his hand like they were a dog.
In the fall of 1977, I left a blanket that my grandmother had made for me in the dorm. And I'd left it in there over Christmas break. John wanted to make sure that blanket did not get taken. And I didn't know him. I didn't know him. He just didn't. So as soon as Christmas break was over, he looked me up and he handed me that blanket that he had kept for me to make sure that nobody got away with it or that it didn't disappear, so that blanket would still be there when I got back in the spring.
I haven't run across anybody recently, alum or here, that don't know who John Jones is.
He's a very caring, very giving, helpful type of person.
One year particularly, John was having difficulty and his vehicle broke down, and so students, faculty, alumni put money together, and we actually bought John a car.
Like, he gives, and never expects anything in return, and never expects a recognition for it.
He goes out of his way to help other people, and that's always been a trademark of his.
Just an all-around good guy.
I've only known him, a little over 2 years, and he's made a definite mark in my life.
Going to be different without him around, that's for sure.
He is just a world-class human being.
He's a big part of us. So I have a lot of love and a lot of respect for John.
Just do what you gotta do.
I try to follow after John when it comes to work ethic. John's always working, he's always busting it.
And I think he's set the bar high for everybody.
He's one of the hardest workers on campus.
As long as you're not lazy, there's a job here for you. Because as long as students go in here, they're going to have somebody clean up after them.
I mean, everything that you would ever want in an employee.
You could walk up and say, John, I need you to set up the stage because I've decided at the last minute I want to have a choir rehearsal on stage and I need the risers and 100 chairs. Can you make that happen in the next 2 hours? And he'd go, sure, I'll get it done.
He outworked some of the custodians that's half his age.
I think the music part is just the best. That's what's kept me working here all these years, I believe.
John has worked in a lot of pain the last few years with his knees, his legs, but you never know it.
We all should aspire to be the kind of person he is.
I'm going to vacuum this hallway here.
I used to go over to Claire Thompson Hall sometimes to set up some kind of a presentation for as many as 400 students. And every time I'd get over there, John would greet me at the door with a smile on his face and a spring in his step. And John would say, what do you need? And it didn't matter to John how organized I was or disorganized I was. John was ready to help to make the whole thing, to help me pull it off.
After 10 years, it's something you're going to get burnt out. And I haven't seen that from him, or I've never heard anyone express that.
He would even show up to graduations because he would always say his kids were graduating.
He's going to be missed whenever he does leave. He means the world to us. He means the world to our department.
Just get in there and do what's got to be done.
You never hear him talk about somebody else, say anything negative about anybody else. And that's what makes John, John. I mean, he don't have bad days like most of us people do.
We need to clone him. We need to have 10 John Jones, and then our job would be that much easier.
It's the longest job I've ever had. 42 years, that's a long time to work any place.
He knows the individuals he's serving, and he thinks about students and how much he cares for them, and he would do anything to make sure that their lives are better. So that's the kind of work ethic and person he is.
What? Hard?
What's the best part about your
Oh,
job?
the best part of the students. I've been on my own since I was 15. My dad didn't want me. He took me one state and left me there. Two Drury students, their first year, adopted me as their grandpa. It took them 1.5 years to do it, but they did it. Jaime Ricardo Villa Zapatero, you remember him?
Yes.
Stephen Bush.
Uh-huh.
Stephen and Lindsay Bush, Jaime and Brenda Varela Lopez. They're my family. Gave me something I never had before. Just like that when I met them. Turned me completely around.
One of my favorite memories of John is that we would always try to scare each other. And so when I knew he was working in Claire Thompson, I would sneak in and hide behind a door or a wall and wait till he walked by and jump out and scare him. And he took it to a new level. He would wait for us to walk from College Park over to the gymnasium in the morning because he knew we had morning practice at 6:30. So he would hide behind trees or buildings and wait for us and scare us. Well, one day he took it to a new level. He stuffed his pants and his work shirt and his shoes filled with newspaper like a scarecrow and hoisted it into a tree. So as we were walking by, we see this figure in the tree and we're all looking at it. Next thing you know, John pops out of a big pile of leaves he had created right next to us and scared us all. He just had the biggest smile on his face.
John was more than a familiar face. He was family, and it did not stop at the end of the school year. When our first summer break was approaching, he asked us for help purchasing a flip phone so he could call us, his first phone line in over 25 years. And it worked great calling within the US, but it was a little bit more challenging internationally. So next year, he purchased a computer and he asked us to teach him how to use it. And it was impressive how fast he learned. Before you knew it, he was calling me all the way to Spain using Skype. Once that we graduated, he came over here to visit us in San Francisco, and just last year, he got an iPhone, and now we FaceTime all the time.
The moment I met John, I loved how he took me in as his own granddaughter.
Every time we had a cross-country or track meet, he would come to the bus to wish good luck to the entire team, and sometimes he would even drive to the races to cheer us on.
He is just such a special part of our life, and we love calling him Grandpa, and adding him to our family has just been incredible.
But also, when we got back on campus, he would always be there, and it wouldn't matter what time of the day it was. If it was 3 or 5 a.m. and it was freezing outside, you bet John was always going to be there to help us with our bags and even give us a ride back to our dorms.
Our daughter Emmy absolutely loves him, and it's just been super fun to watch them together, and that she has a great grandpa in him now.
Nice to have a little girl like that. She's 13 months old right now, and she's the tops.
John, I am so happy that you've been in my life.
John, the thing I liked about you was you were always happy.
John, you've been an instrumental piece to our facility services department and to Drury University in whole.
John, I know that 42 years probably came and went fast.
John Jones, you're one of a kind.
Well-deserved retirement, sir. I want you to enjoy yourself. You've earned it.
I wish you the very best in your retirement, but I sincerely dread seeing you go.
Good luck, John Jones.
Sir, we really respect you. We're going to miss you. You've been everything to our department.
You have been someone that staff, faculty, and students can come to, talk to.
I wish you could have taught a couple of these knuckleheads around here some of the stuff that you knew, as far as your work ethic, because you've worked with them. You're a great guy, and I'm honored to have worked with you for the time that I have. Thank you for your dedication and commitment to making this university a better place.
John, I want to say thank you for showing me the way around Drury and always being carefree and always bringing a smile and a good attitude.
And I've knew for years that the day was coming, but I can't say that I'm not a little sad to see you go.
But I want to wish you the best and enjoy your retirement. Thanks for letting me work with you.
John, I'm going to miss you. You have really kept that building together. I always think of you as a good friend and a faithful, loyal worker, and somebody who, for whom no job was too big or too difficult. I really appreciate the fact that you always had a smile on your face and a spring in your step.
Enjoy your retirement. It's been nice working with you.
John, thank you for being such a great friend and colleague, and for all the good things that you've done for me personally, but most importantly for our students over the years you've been here. We are going to miss you, my friend. God bless.
If you get bored, come back and see us. Hopefully we'll all be here for a while. Take care of yourself.
Well, John, we'll definitely miss you. You should really enjoy your retirement. You put in a lot of good years, and we'll miss you, man.
John, thank you for a committed life that you've had to Drury University and being a part of our family. Congratulations on your retirement, on a job well done and a life well lived.
John, it's been a great 17 years that I've known you. Happy retirement.
John Jones, been a pleasure working with you for 10 years, sir. I've never met anybody nicer, and you've set the bar awfully high for the rest of us to follow.
I just want to tell you that you are such a gift to so many people, and you're really going to be missed, and I hope you come back and visit, and I hope you have a good, healthy life when you leave here, and I hope you get to do all the things you want to do, and I hope you get to be with your grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and I know you're going to keep doing great things for everybody, so thanks, John.
You have done nothing but help us with our issues, with problems. You have shown us what true caring is. And in a world today that we hear so much bad stuff on the news, you are a person that we talk about when we say there's a few good ones in the world. You, sir, are a good one, and you're going to be truly missed. I've appreciated my 21 years, or close to 21 years, working with you, and I'll surely miss you. I know you won't stay idle. I know you're going to spend every day working with others, helping others. It's just your nature. It's just what you do.
May your blessings be many and your troubles be few. Godspeed, John.
You've been a role model for me, and somebody for me to look up to, and somebody for me to emulate. And I can't tell you how sad I am in some ways that you're going to be retiring from Drury, because for me, you embody the best things that we have to offer here.
And now is the time for you to kick back and relax and enjoy it. And I wish you a happy, healthy retirement. We're going to miss you.
He said he had no family when he arrived on Drury Lane. We were looking for a janitor, pretty sure that's why he came. The endless chores of janitors were only part of the plan. Drury hired an orphan, but they got a family man. John Jones, he's a sweeper. John Jones, he's a keeper. John Jones, he's no sleeper. First on the job and the last to leave. With Jesus in his pocket and his smile, that winning smile. Hard to see sometimes, 'cause he's always out there going the extra mile. He accepted the call to Clara Thompson Hall like it was handed down from God. Staying late for student recitals so they would have someone to applaud. And endless heats of cross-country meets at the line to cheer them in. Drury Lane was his address. Drury students are his kin. John Jones, he's a sweeper. John Jones, he's a keeper. John Jones, he's no sleeper. First on the job and the last to leave. With Jesus in his pocket and his smile, that constant smile. Hard to see sometimes, 'cause he's always out there going the extra mile. And now the last folding chair is stacked, desks and tables all in a row. Floors are clean, repairs complete. Time to hit the lights and go. When we look back at 42 years and ask what did it all mean, we will say we all are better, 'cause John Jones was behind the scenes. John Jones, he's a sweeper. John Jones, he's a keeper. John Jones, he's no sleeper. First on the job and the last to leave. With Jesus in his pocket and his smile, that blessed smile. Hard to see sometimes, 'cause he's always out there going the extra mile. John Jones, he's some sweeper. John Jones, and he's a keeper. John Jones, but he's no sleeper. First on the job and the last to leave. With Jesus in his heart and his smile, that blessed smile. Hard to see sometimes, 'cause he's always out there going the extra mile. Hard to see sometimes, 'cause he's always out there going the extra mile.
I'm working on a book.